Hey everybody, come on in the room, come on in the room. Hey, good evening everybody, come on in the room. What a wonderful day, what a wonderful day, what a wonderful day it is to be alive. I'm telling you, it's by the grace of God that we are here and by his favor that we have been kept and we are being kept. So I want to ask you today to just make sure you greet one another as you come in. Let your brothers and sisters know how glad you are to see them, how proud you are of them, and how thankful we are that they are coming into this space today. It's another day's journey. Glad about it, glad about it. And I pray that you're glad about it as well. So as we come on in the room today, let's get ready to greet one another. Be sure that you tell each other how glad we are to see each other. We do it every Thursday night. It's nothing new. Hey, I'm just glad to see you. It's just good to know that the blessings and the favor of God is on your life, and I'm excited about what God is doing in your space. In your space, favor is resting in your space, and I'm extremely proud of it. Hey, tonight I'm just glad to be able to talk to you for a few minutes tonight. We are in times where it seems that sometimes just making one step after another can be difficult for so many people. It's like when we move forward, it's like we're pushed back 2 or 3 steps. And I've come tonight to come against discouragement, come against every attack that the enemy will try to send your way to make you think that, hey, you're not going to make it, you're not going to succeed. The devil is a liar. So tonight, I just want to talk to you tonight. I want to talk to you. I'm going to preach to you Sunday. Thursday night, I'm going to talk to you. I want to talk to you tonight about simply how to make it step by step. How to make it step by step. Pastor, sometime I tell you this thing can really put some pressure on you, and you know, Pastor, you know, yes, I do know, but I also know that greater is he that's in you than he that is in the world. I also know that he who began a good work in you will perform it until the day of Christ Jesus. And I also know you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I already know that he has a plan for your life, and his plans to prosper you and not to hurt you, and plans to bring you to an expected end. I also know that evildoers will be soon cut down and wither like the grass and the green herb. So I do know that there is a divine setup in your life. But even in the divine setup, sometimes we can become weary. We can become unfocused. It's part of your humanity. And in your humanity, sometimes we miss the mark. And sometimes we can become a little discouraged. The saints don't want to talk about it. We want people to think that we're always encouraged, and we never become discouraged. And somebody said, well, you shouldn't be discouraged because David himself encouraged himself in the Lord. Well, the simple fact that he needed to encourage himself mean that he was at a point of discouragement. You don't need to encourage what has not been discouraged. So even with all of us, we need a word to help us push on. And even Jesus himself was in the garden of Gethsemane, and in that garden, he was getting discouraged and said to the Father, let this cup pass from me. I don't want to endure this. I don't want to go through this. And then he said to the Father, nevertheless, not my will, but thine will be done. We do hit low moments, and we hit moments, if you don't watch it, they will begin to try to imprison you and make you stay in that place where you are. But I've come tonight to tell you, you're going to make it. You're going to make it, and you're going to make it step by step. You're going to make it step by step. There are people who've gone through traumatic things. There are people who have faced some real hard situations, and there are people who come with this false sense of recovery, and they give you certain keys that's really almost unattainable, and you sitting there thinking to yourself, Lord, how in the world am I going to accomplish that? And I've come today to just give you some keys, and I hope these keys will be the keys that fit the lock of your life and unlock some things that will cause your life to prosper and move in the right direction. How am I going to make it step by step? How am I going to make it step by step? Let me say this to you. The first way that you make it step by step, and somebody type it, is begin with small steps. Begin with small steps. Some things that have hit you so hard, you will not recover instantaneously, and all of your strength is there, and you are able to act as if I did not take a blow. I'm telling you, you have to start with small steps. When you've gone into the hospital and you've had surgery, and when you've had surgery and they send you through the recovery room, after you come out the recovery room, the next thing that they're going to do, depending on the severity of the surgery, you may go to intensive care, and then you may just be released to a room. Well, once you get to that room, they have people to come by who give you on a daily basis therapy. They give you therapy. And when you have had a major blow, a major surgery, what they want to do with you is to get you to move. Now, I had a friend not long ago. He went through some serious things. Man, he went through some serious things physically. And I was sitting at his hospital bed, and two therapists came in, and they were talking to him, and they said to him, do you think you can just sit up on the side of the bed today? Do you want to try to just sit up on the side of the bed? Tubes everywhere. He nodded his head. Yes, they helped to take his feet out of the bed. They put the bed in the upright position, and then they helped pull him up and turned him to sit on the side of the bed. He sat on the side of the bed. He sat on the side of the bed. And they looked at me and said, that's a major accomplishment, because he hadn't been up. Small steps. Do you hear what I'm saying? Sit on the side of the bed, not run a marathon, not walk down to the cafeteria. Can you just sit on the side of the bed? And he sat on the side of the bed, and they noticed that there was no major reaction in his body that would tell them to lay him back down. They let him sit there for about 60 seconds, and they said to him, you want to try something else? And he nodded his head. They said, we're gonna stand up. He hadn't stood up, I know, in 6 to 8 weeks. They said, we're going to stand up. And he stood up. And when he stood up, he rocked a little, and they made sure that they balanced him. And they looked at him and said, major accomplishment. Y'all get this. He hadn't taken a step. He hadn't ran. He hadn't walked. He just stood up, small steps. And when he stood up, they turned, and they just had him to take 2 little steps, and then bag up 2 steps, 2 little steps, bag up 2 steps, set him back on the side of the bed, turn him back around, put him back in the bed, and told him how proud they were of him. because in 6 to 8 weeks you have not done that. There are some of you who have taken some major blows. You've taken some major blows, and it was really designed to destroy you, but God wouldn't let it be. I come here today to tell you, just sit up on the side of the bed. Just sit up on the side of the bed. If you just make some kind of effort, it doesn't have to be major. It could just be small. I mean, if you've been stuck in that house in depression, just go sit on the porch. If it's just for 2 minutes, go sit on the porch. If it's just coming out of one room and go sitting in another room that you hadn't been sitting in, just take the small steps. And I want to tell you, before you take the small steps, I'm proud of you. Major accomplishment. Major accomplishment. Because in order to run a whole marathon, you first of all have to run a whole block. And before you can run a whole block, you have to run a whole half a block. Then you have to run first a whole quarter of a block. Then the first thing you have to do is get out of the blocks, get out of the starting point and start. Just start with small steps. Do you hear what I'm saying? The next thing is, if you're going to take it step by step, listen to this. This is very important. Take yourself through every step. What do I mean? Don't skip the steps. Quit trying to skip the process. You cannot have the major surgery and skip the recovery room and skip the intensive care or skip the semi or the private room. You cannot skip being released from the hospital. You cannot skip all of these steps. You have to go through every step. I had to endure COVID on one occasion. I went through COVID, and I'm telling you, I don't care how you want it, how I wanted to go outside and do this and do that, do this and do that. At one point, it was literally hard for me to even get up from the bed and make it a few feet to the bathroom. It was hard. But guess what I had to do? Sit up on the side of the bed and then try to make it to the bathroom. Then the next thing you knew, I was walking down the hall, and I walk into the den and I sit in the den. And then I get up enough strength to walk back to the bed. Then I walk from the den, and I walked all the way up to the sunroom. And then I turn around and I get back. I had to take it step by step. And then there was a picture that I took where I went outdoors and I was pushing Zachary around in a little baby stroller, and it was hard for me to walk to the street and come back down the driveway. But in order to be healed and come through that, I had to take it step by step. Somebody hear me today. You're trying to skip too many steps. I know you want to recover. I know you want to get to a certain place in life. I know you want to accomplish a certain thing. And I know you want to do a certain thing in life. But right now, you have to take this thing step by step and stop trying to step over steps and skip steps, because in the future, you will need the experience of those steps. Do you hear what I'm saying? Step by step, step by step, step by step. When I was growing up, the old folks used to say, step by step, we'll make this journey, even though our way seemed hard. Step by step, we'll make this journey, but we must put our trust in God. Do you hear what I'm saying? Even with your trust in God does not give you the right to skip the steps. Even though you're saved, you're sanctified, you got God on your side, don't skip the steps. Go through what you have to go through in order to make it. Another way that you're going to make it, y'all get this, another way that you're going to make it, you ready? Focus on your other senses. Focus on your other senses. The body constantly is sending out signals. Your body is constantly sending out messages. Your body is constantly telling you things. Don't ignore the email, the download of your body to you. Don't ignore what your body is telling you. There are times when your body will tell you you can push through this. Then there are times your body is going to tell you rest. There's going to be times when your body is going to tell you slow it down. Then there are times your body is going to tell you it's all right to pick up the pace. Don't ignore the other senses. There are some people who have pushed themselves in times when they needed to rest. And the body gave them every indication you need to rest, you need to slow down. And they kept on pushing themselves until the body could not take that pressure anymore. And the body itself shut down because you would not pay attention to the signs. And then there are times that people just rest in overload. They rest too much. And the body is trying to tell you to get up and move, get up and move, get up and move. The body will give you signals. A little while ago, sitting in this office earlier before I came here, I had a little Gatorade. It wasn't much, but I had some Gatorade earlier. And then earlier than that, this morning, I drank some decaf coffee this morning. So I had decaf coffee this morning. I had a little Gatorade. When I got in here and I sat down and I was working in my office, it's as if my body spoke to me and asked, will you give me some water? Will you give me some water? And I began to drink. I began to drink water. Matter of fact, I drunk right here out of this jug here. I drank water. Maybe about that much was left in here. And I drank that, all of it. I drank it, and it felt like my body was rejuvenated. It's like something Gatorade couldn't do and something that coffee could not do. Coffee and Gatorade, Lord have mercy, this gonna bless you, took care of my taste buds. The water took care of my physical needs. Don't ignore the signals that your body is sending you. And I'm telling you, obey. There are times you need to go over to the other side, disciples, and rest. There are times when we need to go up into the mountains. There are times that there is work in the valley, but for right now, I need to bag up because my body is giving me signals. So I am going to focus on my senses. All right, the other senses. Now, another way that you're going to make it step by step, making it step by step. Somebody type this for me. It's very simple. Breathe. Breathe. Just take a break and breathe. The body is so tense. Everything upsets you. Every time something don't go the way you want it to go, you don't even know, because you've been doing it so long, your whole body tense up, your whole attitude change. It's like you snap into a whole nother person before you know it. You're happy one minute, something don't go your way. You child, breathe, breathe, breathe. Some things is not as bad as you think they are. Breathe. Take a breath. You think better when you breathe. You think better when you just take a moment and sit back and say, okay, all right, that happened. Can I change it? I cannot change it. Lord, give me the courage to change the things I can change. And the things I cannot change, I just cannot change. So therefore, I'm working in wisdom and I'm working in the power and the movement of God. So therefore, there are times when those of you who are listening to me, there are times when you just simply have to sit back and just take a breath and breathe and not allow that thing to overwhelm you, not allow that thing to be the thing that takes you under. Just breathe. Just breathe. The last step that you're going to take that's going to help you Make it step by step. This is going to sound simple, but listen to me. Listen to me. This will help you. Smile. Smile. Just take a smile. Just take a smile break. Just take a smile break. I'm telling you, it's more muscles to frown than it is to smile. Just take your smile break and sit back and just say, hey, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I'm going to recover from this. I'm going to be better in the end than I was from the beginning. Smile. Guess what it does? It can change your whole attitude, because guess what your smile does? It sends signals through your body. It sends signals. I remember I went to the radio station to do a spot, and the fella had me in the studio to get ready to do a spot about Faith Walker's Church. Something was coming up. He said, all right, Pastor, you ready? 3, 2, 1. I said, hey, everybody, Faith Walker's Church will be having such and such on such a day. I'm inviting everybody in the city to come on out and be a part of it. Remember this, come on by. And I guarantee you, when you get through at Faith Walker's, you'll learn how to walk it out by faith. He got through with that. He said, all right, Pastor, let's listen to it. And I listened to it. He said to me, who do you think will show up? Who do you think will show up, Pastor, with that, the way you just did that? I said, wow. He said, okay, I'm going to show you what's going to help. I said, what is it? He said, sit up. I sit up like this. He says, put a smile on your face. I put a smile on your face. He said, now say it with energy. I said, hey, everybody, listen, Faith Walker's Church is getting ready to have such and such and such. I'm inviting you to come out to Faith Walker's Church. I guarantee you the presence of the Lord is going to be there. And when you walk out of that building, I guarantee you this, you'll be walking it out by faith. Did you see that? I changed my expression. I changed my body posture. And the whole dynamics of everything that I was sending out changed. Maybe with a smile, words will come out different. And maybe with a smile, things can change. And maybe with a smile, you'll see that, hey, this thing ain't as bad as I thought it was. And I'm going to survive. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to make it. I'm going to succeed. And I refuse to let the enemy triumph over me. Hey, y'all, come on, give God some hearts and some thumbs. Come on, come on. That's all I got to tell you. You're going to make it step by step. Start with the small step. Do not miss a step. Go through every step. Focus on your senses. Breathe and smile. And you're going to make it step by step by step. You're going to make it. I guarantee you. Come on, give God some hearts and thumbs. If that word bless you, put some notes in the bottom. Say, hey, that blessed me. That blessed me. If you need to share it with some of your people that you know going through something, go on, share it. Share it. It may be exactly what they need to hear to help them make it through this night and make it through the next day. So smile and come on. Let's go through it. Let's go through it together. Let's walk it together and make sure that we don't leave anybody behind. Hey, everybody. I thank God for you all being on here tonight. It has been a joy for me to preach and teach to you. Teach to you tonight. I didn't give you a bunch of scriptures, but I gave you some keys that'll help you survive and help you move on through life. So, hey, there it is tonight. Take that word. Let that word set up in your life. Let it set up in your heart, and let it be a part of your daily routine. What am I going to do? I'm going to start with the small steps. Number 2, I'm not going to miss any step. Number 3, I'm going to focus on what signals and signs that my body is giving me. I'm going to breathe and I'm going to smile. And guess what? Check on me. Check on me in the next 30 days and see where I am. I'm going to see where you are when you apply these things to your life. Those are the ways to give at the bottom. If you're going to give. If you're going to sow into the ministry, sow into the ministry. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being on here tonight. I pray the blessings of God be upon your life. Go on, have a good night.